Today I'm going to talk to you about my story of how I started working for one of the top 5 companies in the S&P 500, and also how I launched my first online business that allowed me to double my income as an employee in less than a year. But first, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you also want to reach financial independence and make your money work for you, even if you're an employee. As I'm still an employee, you can also watch the video where I told you about my daily routine as an employee and as an entrepreneur. You can check it out right there. It's in Italian. I'll probably make it in English. Who knows? Just check it out. So what's my story? Many of you have asked me to share my story. I've never done it before. I will skip some irrelevant parts, especially during my childhood. I don't think it's relevant, but hear me out. If you don't know me, I'm Alessandro Piccoli. I was born in Mantova, Italy in 1992 in April, and I will go straight forward to 2009, right after the real estate bubble of 2008, when I moved to the US, where I spent more or less 1 year as an exchange student at West Putnam High School in Oregon. If you want, I can also create a video explaining you this experience. I don't want to go too much into details in this video. I just want to tell you what allowed me to achieve this experience. And of course, if you have the opportunity to do this, please do it. Whatever, just do it, because it opens up so many opportunities that you can't even imagine. I can tell you that as a teenager, because I used to be a teenager in 2009, that helped me drastically throughout my whole career. So if you have the opportunity to do an international experience at a young age, please do it. I'm really grateful for this experience, and I'm really happy. It allowed me to achieve so much more. But whatever the international experience you will be doing, whatever your age is, remember to study English. English will open up so many more opportunities that you cannot even imagine. If it weren't for this experience, I don't know where I will be, because English allowed me to study afterwards in English at university. It allowed me to study a lot of books that are not available in Italian or in any other language, allow me to move faster compared to my peers of my same age. So if you don't know English right now, and probably you're reading the subtitles of this video, please study it, because it allows you to achieve so much more compared to what you're achieving right now. And I'm telling you from experience. And by the way, I'm currently working in English at my company, but this is another story. I will tell you more later. So despite that, all the choices that I made throughout my whole career, throughout my whole life, were highly influenced by the fact that I had an international experience at a young age. And let me tell you why. When you move abroad and you have to come back, it's not the same as moving abroad and staying abroad. You don't see that difference. So when you move abroad for the first time, they prepare you for the cultural shock. They tell you that when you go there, you will have shock because your culture is different from their culture. But for me, it wasn't that complex to adapt to the new culture. It wasn't really that difference, but I can imagine that if you go, for example, from Italy to China, it could be a little bit more different as a culture shock. But whatever that is, you need to adapt, and the only fact that you adapt to a new situation or to a new culture, it opens up your mind. And when you come back, and that happened to all the exchange students, and nobody talks about this, is that when you come back, there is another culture shock. Basically, when you come back, you realize you have grown so fast that you cannot talk to your peers anymore. So you see all of your friends remain stagnated to the same situation that they used to be 1 year before, while you move so much faster than them that you cannot find any link for conversation. And that's when I started to have some conflicts within myself, because for the first time in my life, I was trying to adapt to a society that I didn't belong to anymore. And that's when people started realizing I was different and started judging me, saying I was a show-off, I was doing things differently, I needed to keep my feet on the ground instead of trying to achieve more, because I knew what my competencies were, and I knew that I was meant for more than just average. So after 1 year, more or less, I enrolled to the University of Bologna to pursue a college degree in engineering. And I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea why I chose that major, because I literally had no idea what to do until the last second. So if you are more or less 18, 19 years old and you have no idea what to do with your life, let me tell you, it's totally normal. I've been surrounded by people at school that already knew what to do 1 year before graduation. I had no idea, honestly, what to do with my life. I decided to study engineering at the last second just because I didn't want to waste 5 years of scientific high school. So that's why I decided to study engineering. So here we go, because I didn't know what to do. I'm glad I did that, because afterwards, because of that, I was able to work for one of the biggest companies in the world, and I gained so much technical skills that I wouldn't be able probably to acquire otherwise. So just so you know, in case you're confused and you're 18, 19 years old, it's totally normal. Things are gonna work out. Just keep moving on. That's my 2 cents on this, let's say. So my life as a college student during my bachelor degree, I was a nerd. I was doing nothing but studying. I just studied hard. My day was just focused on studying for the semester exams. I went to every lesson I could possibly be to. I tried not to skip any lecture because I thought that was the only way to pass every exam, and that honestly allowed me to graduate on time. Let me give you an idea of how nerdy I used to be. I was selected for an exchange program in Paris, where I had to take almost all of the lectures in French. I didn't know any French. I went there, I studied French, and when I came back after 6 months, my university in Bologna didn't accept any course that I took. So I had to retake all of the courses that I took in Paris. When I came back, I had to retake new courses that I didn't follow throughout the semester in Bologna, and I was able in the end to complete something like 6 or 7 exams in one semester, more or less, and I was able to graduate on time. 3 years more or less I was able to graduate, despite the fact I didn't follow most of these courses. So just to give you an idea, I just stayed at home and studied a lot just for the exams. That's how nerdy I used to be. I'm glad for it because I was able to graduate on time, but honestly, if I had to do it again, I'm not sure, and let me explain you why in a few minutes. So after graduation, I was selected to one of the top 10% university in the world for engineering in Lausanne. I moved to Switzerland and I enrolled to the financial engineering master course. Maybe because I was influenced by the Wolf of Wall Street, the movie of DiCaprio, but basically my goal was to make a lot of money in the financial market. And I was so convinced that the only way to earn money through the financial markets was to be able to trade and predict the future of the markets. So that's why I enrolled to this course in financial engineering at EPFL in Lausanne. But as soon as I got there, I realized a couple of things. As I told you, the first thing was I wanted to be rich, filthy rich. But then there was a contradiction between what I thought was the truth and what my professors preached. The thing is, all my professors talked about many millionaires that they've worked with and how they have managed their portfolio, basically. But one of the stories that made me think was when one of these rich people, he was in one tropical island, called one of my professors. Basically, he asked him to go and meet him at this tropical island. So he bought all of the plane tickets to move to that island and have a meeting. And he did it. And you might think, oh, that's amazing. You travel for free. Yeah, but I've always thought, I don't want to be the guy who needs to go to the rich person because he wants me there and then he's gonna give me money. I want to be the guy who pays you to come to my island. So I started thinking, is this the right path for me? And then there was a conference at the school where there were a lot of millionaires, and they were talking about their businesses, how they dealt with clients and how they managed the cash flow and so on. But then I realized that none of these people, none of these multimillionaires knew a thing about what I was studying. I was studying stochastic calculus. I was studying so much complex mathematical things that I was thinking, why am I doing this? This is not what I want to do. And then the third thing that got me thinking was, what are the career expectations if I graduate as a financial engineer? And I realized that all of the career opportunities that were out there for a financial engineer were not aligned with my goals. And you want to know what I did? I dropped out because that was not my career path. I couldn't stand it. I started feeling sick every time I went to school because I was studying something that wasn't aligned with my goals. But the thing is, as soon as I dropped out, I started having panic attacks. Why did I have panic attacks? Because I thought I've wasted all my life pursuing a career path that was not aligned with what I wanted to do for real. So I started having panic attacks and I didn't know what to do in my life. So what did I do? I came back to Italy, and for a few months I started wondering, should I start working? What should I be doing? I have no idea. In the end, I actually had no idea what to do. I didn't want to work right away for a company. I decided to pursue another engineering degree at Polytechnic of Turin, where I got my master's degree, but there are some things that you need to know. So basically, when I came back and I knew and I realized that I wasted so much time on things that were not meant to be my career path, I started caring less about things. So I didn't go to most of the lectures, just to give you an example. I stopped being a nerd. I focused on my things, and here is when I started focusing on studying, other than just studying my degree courses. So I started focusing on reading books, the one that you can see all around me. And that's when I started to read books for real, because after high school, when I had to read books because the professor asked me to, I started to read books and enjoy them. Because I started to read books about money, I started to read books about personal growth, I started to read books about financial literacy. And that's when everything started to turn out. And that's when I started to do the first test. So I started to launch my first startup with some friends of mine that it didn't go well at all. But why did I do it? Because I had time. I just studied for the exam for my degree in the last 2 weeks. Instead of going to the lecture, I started to invest my time to the things that I thought could bring me more in the future compared to the college degree. And that's when I started to launch startup that didn't go well. That's when I started to learn about digital marketing. That's when I started to learn about financial independence. That's when I started to learn about financial literacy, investing, and so on. And then guess what? And then you think, okay, you graduated. No, guess what? I want to tell you something that is funny that still bothers me, let's say, at night. So basically, I've never failed any exam except for one. That is the last exam, financial engineering. So just to tell you how resentful I was, I didn't think it was useful for my career, so I didn't put the effort. But then afterwards, I was able to complete it and finalize that course and get rid of it and then graduate. And I want to tell you this because regardless of your situation, there's gonna be some setbacks in your life, whatever it is. And at that time, I had to graduate. I had to postpone my graduation because of that. But because of that, I was able to submit more applications to other companies and get a job at one of the top 5 companies in the S&P 500 as an intern. Well, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't just an application. So basically, I sent out my application to the website. I sent out my CV, and then after that, there was a phone screening session where the interviewer called me and asked me a few questions, and I had to reply to them. And then afterwards, actually before that, there was a mathematical assessment online, and I passed that. After the phone screening, there was an on-site group activity with other future interns, and afterwards I had to go through 3 or 4 other one-on-one interviews. And after I passed all of that, they offered me a job as an intern. And I started working in 2017, and now it's been 5 years that I've been working not as an intern anymore. Of course, I'm a program manager at this company. And you might think this is when things started to go well. Actually, this is when things started to go south. Basically, I started my first rat race experience because my life became just work. So basically, my daily routine became toxic. Basically, what I did was just waking up really early, go to work, stay there until very late, and then go back home and sleep and repeat. Basically, this was my routine. I didn't do anything else. So I stopped working out, I stopped reading, I stopped any other activities other than work for that company. And all of this because I was pursuing a promotion that at the time never happened. That promotion arrived only later on. But that made me realize one thing: why am I wasting so much time for a job, for a boss, for a manager that doesn't grant me that promotion? So as soon as I realized they were not gonna give me that promotion that year, I stopped giving 200% for that company. And I started focusing on PM, so program management. I started focusing on time management and so on. And I started a side hustle with one of my friends that didn't work out, but I got the promotion. But then COVID-19 struck. So at the beginning of 2020, we had to work from home. So I stopped going to the office and everything basically changed because I had more time for myself. So I didn't need to go to work anymore. I could work just out of bed. Of course, I never done it, but that saved me a lot of time. I didn't have to go directly to work. I could just wake up and start working from my desk. So that saved me a lot of time, and other than that, I was able to save a lot of time in chit-chatting that happened a lot in the work office that most of the time doesn't add any value. So I was able to save a lot of time that I could invest in something else. As I told you, my first side hustle with one of my friends didn't work out, and I honestly stopped working with anybody because I realized that before working with somebody, you need to be able to manage your own business. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to delegate your work to anybody else or to match priorities with someone else. So for fun, I started TikTok, and that's probably where you first saw me. And if you don't follow me yet on TikTok, please follow me on TikTok. So what happened is, said to myself, okay, all of the things you have done in the past never worked. They never worked, either for people, either because you were not committed, either because something happened that made you change your mind, or because you had other priorities, you focus on work, you focus on the promotion, whatever. So what I decided to do, I decided to commit to publish at least one video a day for at least 1 year. I didn't tell you before, but when I started reading, there were so many books that I had to read that I didn't know where to start. So I did some courses about speed reading. I started learning how to read faster and retain more informations. And so what I did at the beginning of my TikTok, I published videos about speed reading and how to read faster. Afterwards, I realized that was not sustainable because I had to publish content about things that I enjoy. And I enjoy making money and managing it, investing, and so on and so forth. So basically, I started publishing content about financial literacy and how to invest money, how to manage money, budgeting, and so on. So as soon as I saw my first viral videos, so my videos never got 1 million views, but they got 500,000 views, more or less. As soon as I saw some traction from the audience, I realized, okay, I need to do something more, and then the rest is history. I created a blog, www.alittlemore.net, where I publish articles about my story, about financial literacy, and actually how to manage and invest your money correctly based on my experience. After your feedbacks, I opened up a YouTube channel where you're watching me right now, and also brands started to contact me, and I started having the first contracts where I started promoting some financial services that I trust. Out of 100 brands that contact me and request me to promote their products, I probably would promote 1 or 2, more or less. So the one that you saw on TikToks were just the 1 or 2 that I believed in. And then I started to receive my first affiliate earning, and afterwards I started selling my first digital product that allowed me to get my first real sales online. And you can watch the video here where I tell you how I made it real and how I made it possible and how you can make it too, of course. So I suggest you to watch it. And then I launched my first digital course and my online coaching. And now you might say, okay, everything is amazing, you feel confident, you know how to do things, you make money online, why are you still an employee? As you have learned from my story, there are a lot of setbacks throughout this story. And currently there are a lot of setbacks. Do not imagine that once you reach a goal, there won't be setbacks. There are always setbacks. Right now I have some setbacks that I'm trying to solve. So whatever your situation, whatever your income, whatever your net worth, there are always gonna be some setbacks that try to stop you, whatever you're doing. So right now I have a lot of setbacks that have slowed down my growth, but I'm focusing on fixing them so that I can grow even more in the next months. So the only thing that you need to do is to move forward. Right now I'm still working as an employee, and I suggest you to do so. Do not quit. It doesn't make sense. Having a job right now helps me mitigate the risk of not having enough money throughout the months, because of course I made a lot of money, but then as an entrepreneur, there are some months that go really well and some months that don't go at all, and you don't make any money, more or less. So basically, having a stream of income allows you to mentally rather than physically survive throughout these months where your business doesn't go really well. So just keep that in mind. And also, it doesn't make sense to quit your job if you believe, as I do, that there are still plenty of things to learn that you can also apply to your side hustle. so that one day in the future you can choose to quit finally your job because your side hustle allows you to live without working, basically. Just keep in mind that I launched my business 1 year ago. This is my first year as an entrepreneur, and I believe it allowed me to learn so much more compared to being just an employee. And I'm sure that after this experience I will be able to push even further and grow faster in the next months, and I suggest you to do the same. So here's my story, and I want to close with a few tips that I want to share with you if you are still an employee as I am and want to make your money work for you and reach your financial independence as soon as possible. And it's based on my path, basically. The first thing is study. I'm currently studying, even if it doesn't seem like, but all of the books you see around me, all of the courses I'm taking online and even not online, I'm going to networking events. So just study a lot, financial literature, business, money, marketing, whatever it takes to grow faster. Also, if you want to grow as an employee, it's your choice. You can leverage all of the skills that you learn at your current job, and you can grow within the company if you want faster compared to your colleagues. You can do that, but never stop studying. This is my advice. And if you want to learn more about monies and financial independence and how to reach your financial independence, even if you are currently an employee, I'd suggest you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And of course, keep focusing your learning also on your main area, whatever it is. Mine is currently business analysis and program management. Second of all, start investing. Allows your mind to make a shift from a consumer to a producer. So what you need to do is start investing. As you learned from my story, there is no need for a degree in finance because I'm a dropout of financial engineering. I'm investing and I'm growing my net worth thanks to my investments. So there is no need for that. Just start studying and start investing, actually. And the final point is take action. As long as you just study, nothing will happen. You need to take action based on what you learn. So take action, otherwise you won't see results. You study business, you study sales, you study marketing, and then you need to take action. You need to create your own business. You need to create a sales plan. You need to create a marketing plan and put it in action. Otherwise, you won't see results, and you want to know if it works or not. Especially while you're working. Do not quit and start doing things also when you work. So be sure to invest some of your free time to things that actually matter. A company can fire you whenever they want, and they can replace you whenever they want. If you can instead create your own side hustle that you are the owner of course there are more risks in terms of you are the owner, you are in control, but in case things don't work, things will go south, but you have full ownership of your own business and nobody can fire you. So here's my suggestion: invest some of your time to create your own side hustle so that one day in the future you can choose whether to work for a company because you want to, or to quit the job and just focus 100% of your time to your side hustle. And this is it. Thanks for watching my story. Let me know what you think about my story in the comments. Please let me know if you want me to create more content in English. My YouTube channel is in Italian, but I'm willing to create more content in English if you tell me it's valuable. So please let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!